welcome to ABC Learn. In this demo video, we will be going to see the PayPal checkout flow and its REST API. In our previous demo, we saw that what is payment system and payment integration system, and where was that payment integration system is used. And also we uh, explained in our uh, previous demo that where we use that payment integration system, right? And at the end of previous demo, we also saw one checkout flow of one of PSP service providers. Uh, Now in this demo, we are going to see one of PSP, that is PayPal service provider, its checkout flow in depth, and also we will going to explore some REST API of PayPal. Now first we will again see the checkout flow and try to understand it in depth. Uh, okay, now this is the checkout flow diagram. Now in this checkout flow diagram, we can see that there are multiple some options are shown on topmost corner, like buyer, merchant server, merchant page, PayPal JS SDK, PayPal checkout, and PayPal order API. Uh, let me explain you one by one. Buyer is nothing but a customer who is uh, using the merchant application, means client application who is using buyer, and merchant server and merchant page is the part of merchant application, like client application. Client application may be a e-commerce application, any business related application which using the payment system in their background for making payment. Like in this merchant page is nothing but a front end side, and merchant server is nothing but a back end side of client application. And these three things like the PayPal, JSSTK, checkout, and order API are the part of PayPal system. When buyer try to make any purchase using the client application, at that time on a pay client application, checkout checkout will be happen on that client, I'm saying, and PayPal i- inits and display the PayPal button on front end page of the client application, right? And then buyer when click on that checkout button, then PayPal shows one pop-up for pop-up shows our PayPal front end page, right? And then later one function will be called like create order, that we are seeing here. Your create order function will be get called on front end side of merchant page, means front end side. Create order will be requested, like, and merchant server at that time call one API from where it called to the PayPal order API, and PayPal order API, and server will call the one API like order API, checkout order API. Then later PayPal responded as order created to the merchant server. Means PayPal responded to the client application backend sites. And then later using order ID which return to the merchant page from merchant server and taking that order ID to the PayPal front end side, one pop-up will show up for buyer to logging to the PayPal, and then buyer using his credential means username and password, both using he can log into PayPal, so he can make payment through that, like using his credential and making payment. He can also make few changes like changes in also address or maybe shipping or maybe in the quantity of item he is trying to buy. Like after that, buyer means a customer will complete its checkout means he will complete its payment process to that point, and after PayPal checkout responded as order input approved. Okay. Then one function will be get called from PayPal JSSDK like found approve function. Then one thing will be on merchant page will be requested like capture order. For capturing order, merchant page using order ID will call one PayPal order API, that is nothing but a capture API. When merchant server call that capture API, then PayPal responded as OK, means order has captured and responded to the merchant server. That merchant server responded to the merchant page as order has captured and payment has done successful. This whole thing is nothing but the internal working of a payment integration system. Yeah, we can also, this is a checkout flow diagram, right? It's a line diagram. We can also see one diagrammatic representation of this checkout flow diagram, like in this. Yeah, we can understand more clearly how that checkout flow diagram is work. Like I say, buyer is nothing but a customer who is requesting or making payment through client application and using PayPal is making payment, and to interact to the PayPal there is a one medium system or service, that is payment system, that the system is integrated to the client, so buyer can make payment easily. Like in this we can see that a client application have two things. One is merchant page, another is merchant server. Merchant page is nothing but a client application front end side, and client server is nothing but a back end side. And this payment system is nothing but the it's nothing but it's a package of like a package means more than one services which it is including to make payment without any failure. If even if any failures occur, that services should manage the buyer payments. Like we are making any payment and anything like internet has got and maybe our laptop or whichever device we are using that shut down, payment will be get deducted from the buyer account. Then this whole system manages that process, and if payment is deducted from buyer, then that system should, if order is completed, they responded to buyer. If order is not completed, they will return the payment successfully to the buyer. Like it's a media media middle system of payment integration. And one of our PSP is nothing but a paper. We are using paper. We we are using paper. Our buyer making payment to the client application. Right? It is just a diagrammatic representation of paper checkout flow. Okay. Now, what also we are going to see today is REST API of PayPal. This is a official site of PayPal which providing some documentation for PayPal payment integration system. In that, they are providing some documentation for developing their APIs. Like we can see here, it's official website like developer.paypal.com API REST. Right? And we can also see here there are multiple options on left side. Yeah, right? In that we can like here order, which is our main thing in our checkout flow, right? Yeah, yeah, we can see that some STPI details, JSON structure, and there is some description about that. Each and every field has been explained here. Now we are going to see one by one. Let's start with PayPal REST API. Um, in this, when we are developing the payment system, we we have developed some REST API which can which can interact with the PayPal. So for that, we have to authenticate that REST API is APIs that we are going to develop some wire which is really have access to that API only he can call. In PayPal REST API, we can see here he is seeing that because in PayPal API use REST. authenticate with auth 2.0 access token, and return HTTP response codes and responses encoding in JSON. You can test US integration with a PayPal developer account. There is nothing but if PayPal has providing some REST APIs. We can call that REST API by using access token, and we can get access token by calling auth API. And to interact to get the access token, we need uh, client credentials, and PayPal in default they are providing PayPal developer account. In future, in our next demo, we will see what really is PayPal developer account and what purpose we will going to see. In this video, we are also going to use that developer account, but we can see that developer account using detail in our next demo. Now, in this, let's go ahead and you can let's say by using that uh, developer account, I will also show you the developer account. This is the of developer account. You can say develop. You can see the URL of developer like developer.paper.com dashboard application canvas. By passing our credentials to PayPal developer account register login site, we can log into this developer account. And in our next demo, we will going to see how we can register to this developer account and how we can log in. Now we are just using some I'm explaining in short how the client ID and where we are getting client ID and client secret. Client secret is nothing but a password. Yeah, like it's a default the credential that PayPal providing to us. Okay. Now we move back to the our REST API documentation. Now here we can see that get the client ID and client secret. What we are saying, PayPal integration uses a client ID and client secret to authenticate API calls. Means if we are calling the PayPal API, PayPal using this client ID and client secret and authenticating that this API is a valid API. Okay. And as I say, we are getting these two things that client ID and client secret from developer account. That's it. Nothing but we can also call it as sandbox. for testing the recipe. Let's move ahead. You can see here, here is get access token. We can also see here exchange. First, we're going to read it. It's exchange your client ID and client secret for an access token. The access token authenticate your app when calling PayPal RestApi. You can call the PayPal or API in any language. The following example shows how to get your access token using curve or post. Let's try. I will explain more exactly this. Now using the client ID and client secret, we are calling one API that is nothing but auth API. We can see here. It's this whole thing is a curl. Curl C means curl UI, which are by pasting this thing into our postman, we will be going to use that able to use that API by providing the client ID and client secret. Okay. Uh, let's uh, let's try to copy this curve and let's what it here modify the change client ID to your client ID, change client secret to your clients. Okay. Um, Uh, here also in here we are also see that what respond we will be get when we call that API. Like here is a few things, and this is the actual or that we needed to call PayPal REST API. Right? And there are also few so things like scope, token type, its ID, and when it will be going to expire, blah blah blah. Much more things are there. Okay, make API calls and we yeah, here also this we explain that using access token we can call the APIs. Get sandbox account credentials. Okay, okay, thank you. So let's go. To use this, copy this code and go to our postman where we can import that code into our postman. Let's let's try to create one folder. Yeah, and name will be like demo team. Maybe we can call it that paper demo. Okay, and let's try to import the code import into collect. Okay. Uh, yeah, we can imported the code and now we can say that there is one API URL HTTP API msandbox.paypal.com or token and this is the HTTP method that is post method using we are calling access or token API and we are here passing like client ID and password is client secret. And auth type will be here basic auth because we are passing both client ID, client secret. Now, from from our sandbox, we are using our client ID and pasting it into our Postman uh, client ID. Okay, save. So copying from there to pasting here. Now, also the client's thread we are copying from our sandbox and pasting here, right? Now we are trying to call this API. Let's try to call it. We call the API and now to API has got call and we are seeing the response from PayPal. It's actual response from the PayPal system, which is giving our to us a access token. And there are much more things also are here, isn't it? And using this access token, we can call our uh, order API and capture API, and you can also mm, get we can also see that which order we are purchasing by using the client uh, order ID, right? This way we can able to see the REST API of PayPal one by one. This is the first ways of first hot API, right? Uh, Now, in this demo, we are going to see only that much. And in our next demo, we will be going to see the uh, remaining REST APIs like uh, order API and text API. I can also shortly show you that where where that was. Uh, we saw here auth token API, right? By using code, we are getting access to code. Now, moving out, that you can see here order options. In that is taking time. And yeah, in order, we can say here, uh, like there is one create order API and there is a one so that is checkout order. And here also the different URLs has been provided like one QR for other is Node.js, Java, and Python based on the languages that we are going to use for development. They have provided, and this is the whole structure of JSON for this is for request this for request sample and which containing whole info details about the payment source, the purchase units means which item we are purchasing, right? Like that, and also about its order quantity, much more. And here is the response that we are getting from order API call. And in our next demo, we will see one by one, uh, like for each and every feeds that are using in this JSON, what are those and what are their requirements. Here we can also see the paper documentation has given us some description about that fields. We can also read here by reaching out to the PayPal documentation side. Yeah, that much we are going to see in this. And in our next demo, we will going to see in more details about the PayPal REST API. Okay. Thank you.